He doesn't know.
Welcome to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 141. I'm just going to power all the way through it. Hi, I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. We've got a huge cast tonight, so let's go ahead and just start right in with it. Our opening question is, what activity do you miss most due to COVID-19? Ray.
Cyrus Martin. I miss Cyrus Martin the most.
With every bullet.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it's got to be.
Maybe I better go there someday. Remember that?
No, the thing I miss most is being able to go randomly to either Texas or Florida or anywhere.
Yeah.
A random place that I'd like to go visit somewhere. Friend over in Nova Scotia. You know, just going places would be nice.
Gotcha. Since he's already said it, and I'm just going around the way it shows on my screen, Cy, welcome back, buddy.
Yo, what's up?
So what do you miss most that COVID is preventing you from doing?
I thought about a lot of different answers to this, and I think I was gonna sound really weird, but hugging people.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's legit.
Like every time I go visit my aunt or my mom or whatever, my sister comes over and talks for like 2 hours. We can't hug at the end of that conversation. It's very strange. We're a hugger family, and right now we're not. So I definitely miss that.
Yeah, totally understand that. Joseph, what do you miss?
I have a couple, a really simple thing was just like going to the movies. I would like the simple act of going and sitting in the theater, especially those movie theaters where you can order like a full-blown meal and, have drinks and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. Bucket of beers, baby.
Being able to do, because I everybody that wants to go out and go to like a baseball game or a football game or something like that, and they'll maintain their distance, good on them. I'm not brave enough to do that, although today I did get my first dose of the vaccine, so I'm almost immortal. So I might be a little bit more brave on that, but really it's just, I think it's being able to have the option to go out and do things versus right now where you don't have that option. It's because it's not worth the risk to yourself or to people around you.
What about you, Lainey?
There's so many things.
Pick one.
Well, I do agree with Ray for sure. Like just getting to go on a random little trip somewhere, But for honestly, the thing that keeps coming up in my brain, I miss going to a brewery and talking to the bartender and the guys that are actually in the back brewing and trying out a bunch of different beers and making polite conversation with the people at the bar stools next to us. And I would give anything to be able to go to a brewery even with this one, even though I'm stuck with him all the time.
Restaurants, man.
Oh my God, a restaurant, a dive bar. I don't give a shit. I'll drink a Bud Light at a dive bar. I really miss that. Going to breweries was always something that we did a lot. That was always really fun for us. It's a shared interest that we have, and it was just nice to go and be around other people and drink a new beer. And my God.
I thought you were going to add to that series. You're going to the bar and talking to the bartender, seeing what they got, drinking maybe a little too much. Then this bitch comes over and sits next to me, and I'm like, "What are you looking at, bitch?" And then they're like, "You need to go. You've had enough."
Bar fights. She misses bar fights.
Joseph has to take me home. Yelling and screaming. I
Still
wake up
screaming
the
over
next
the
day.
shoulder in the fireman carrier.
Sean, what do you miss?
I miss a lot of stuff, but I think the thing I miss the most is not having to do 2 trips to my fucking car all the time. 1 trip out, 1 trip back to get my mask, and then go back to the car. In the winter, it sucks. But it's just being able to go out without a fucking mask on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired of it. That's the biggest thing.
I I thought about this, and at first my thought was conventions. I do miss going to conventions,
God, yeah.
but it's movies. I really miss going to the movies. Like my thing was Sunday mornings, because it's the cheapest. Usually there's a cheaper seating for it. There's not a lot of people in there, but you can still get into the big theater that has all the great sound and the good projector and everything. And it's just like, man, I mean, I guess I could, and there's a good possibility that I might be the only one in there, but there's nothing out. Like, I mean, yeah, if I want to go rewatch something that's been out for decades, but it's just, I miss going to the movies. And when we start talking about, the stuff that we're looking forward to this year, the first thing on my list is really big on that. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into our topic. Ray proposed that we discuss the things that we are most looking forward to in 2021. I told everyone, I sent a couple lists out, some big things that are coming out this year. Well, let's clarify this. This is February of 2021. This list is subject to change, like all.
Oh God.
So yeah. In fact, the list that I sent out of movies, there were already like 2 or 3 movies listed there that have either gotten pushed back to later in the year or pushed back indefinitely. So anyway, take it with a grain of salt. But that being said, I sent out a list of movies and video games, books, and TV shows. And I told everyone just kind of throw together a list of maybe 5 to 10 things. And of course, I'm sure a lot of us are probably going to hit on the same things. So if we do, we'll just roll with it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take the first stab at this, just because I don't want anyone else to take this one. Not that I think anyone else would. There's one person on this that might take it. The number one thing I'm looking forward to is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I think that's on everyone's list.
How did I know that was going to be on your list?
Lainey and I were like starting to gear up for this event last year, to the point that I had already told my wife, if they do another big event like they did for Answer the Call in California, they do a big premiere, I want to go. And we were already looking at trying to save money for this. And I was trying to plan, well, am I going to drive? Am I going to fly? Like, those wheels were already turning. And then the world came to an end. And they're like, okay, so we're definitely pushing back. I'm like, okay. And then they pushed it back to this year. And it was supposed to come out this May. And now it's been pushed back to November. And there's a little part of me that's just like, I am enjoying watching and seeing some of these big blockbusters come out on like HBO Plus or HBO Max or whatever, and not having to go spend the money to necessarily watch it. But there are some of these movies, like, well, I don't want to give anything else away, but there are some of these movies that I'm like, man, I really want to see that in a movie theater. And this is one of them, because I want this to be an event, but I also don't want this to be an event that like no one's going to attend, and it's going to suck. Like, who knows, by November of this coming year, I don't know, maybe things will be in a lot better situation, but who knows, we may not be. In any case, I can't wait to see this movie, because they've pushed it back multiple times. And yes, I know how the hype works going into these movies. They interview the people and they're like, oh, it's fabulous. It's one of the best things I've ever been attached to, and blah, blah, blah. But everyone who has seen it, there are people who have seen it who aren't even attached to it, and who are talking about it. Like Adam Savage has mentioned before, he's a huge Ghostbusters fan, and he's like, this is what I've been waiting for 30 years. He said, I didn't work on the movie, or if I did, I can't tell you, his words. He's like, but I'm telling you right now, guys, get excited. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm already excited, but yes, I'm super excited for this movie. So, Ray, we're just going to go around the thing here. Ray, what's one of the things that you're looking forward to this coming year?
All right, so the first one I want to pick out was this one. I'm okay with watching at home because it is a long ass friggin' movie, and that's the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
I am excited for the Snyder Cut. I want to see what his vision was going to be, and yeah, but I don't want to go to the theater for 4 hours.
Oh.
Can I get a large empty cup?
Yeah, no shit, man.
pause
If
button.
if I'm the only one in the theater, can we pause it?
Yeah.
Like, I just wave my hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that one I'm excited for just because I want to see what it actually was before it
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about going back and rewatching at least some of the DC movies before it comes out. Just
They're not as bad as you thought they were.
okay.
You know?
And I was talking to my
Suicide
partner at work
Squad
about
was
this. You and I have had this conversation, Cyrus. I went and watched
The
Batman versus
theatrical cut.
Superman in the theater, and you watched the
Yeah.
director's cut, and we had a conversation, and that was not the same movie at all.
They were two different. I remember that conversation. They were
Yes.
different.
Because you were like, well, what about this part? And I'm like, that didn't happen. That would have made total sense. Like, why wasn't that in the movie?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Like what? When did Cy become a complete liar?
I
Well,
feel
You
like
think
we're
we're
having
stupid?
flashbacks to when Clue came out and people were like saw one of the 3 different endings and were like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? By the way, I would have given anything to been around at that time because that would have been fantastic before everyone knew what was going on.
Yep.
I own that. movie.
Can you imagine the arguments people got into about
Movie
that?
night.
I know, right? So, Sai, what's one of the things you're looking forward to this coming year?
No, I can't give anything.
This is primarily an audio podcast, so please.
Oh yeah, right. I got you. Well, I'm a big video game guy. I love the video games, all of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I'm really looking forward to a new game console that's coming out at some point this year. Not really sure when. It's an independent console called the Intellivision Amico. So I'm really looking forward to it. 'Cause it's a family console. It's designed for like people to do like couch co-op and get together and that sort of thing. It's like there's a bunch of like reimagined new versions of old Intellivision games, but then there's a whole bunch of new stuff too, and kids games and stuff. So it's like for the families, It's not supposed to be a PlayStation or an Xbox. It's a yeah, or a Nintendo. No, it's just it's a fun console with simple games. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's offering. So I'm looking forward to it. So.
I have to say I've seen some of the newer games that are coming out, and yeah, they look pretty good. But the reimagined stuff is like just looks fantastic. I love when people will take some of these older games or whatever and just give it a good, maybe add some extra stuff to it, but just give it a good, fresh coat of paint, like Tetris 99 that's on the Switch is Tetris, and it's just it's like, okay, hey, now you're gonna play against 99 other players, and yeah, it's got different effects and stuff that are going on, but it's fun, and some of those old Intellivision games look awesome with all of those effects.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you guys are interested, there's a demo for Breakout that you can play on your computer with the mouse. And Breakout's going to be coming out on this, and it's made by the guy who did Bit Trip Runner. Yeah, it's the same dude. He's making this version of Breakout. And if y'all are interested in it, I can send you a link to download that. It's free. And they also have a mobile app, and there's a demo on there for Moon Patrol you could play. So there's like a couple of things you can try out if you're interested. In full disclosure, I should say that I'm friends with the guy who's making the system, Tommy Tallarico, who's known very well throughout the industry for his music that he's done for games for decades. Earthworm Jim and all. Aladdin for Genesis and Terminator for the Sega CD. A whole bunch of different. Tons and tons of games, PlayStation games, and on and on and on. So I'm a little more involved than I probably should be.
I don't think so. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's my big thing I'm looking forward to this year.
What about you, Joseph?
So I guess since I have too many, and I'm gonna be a little crazy. I did a list of video games, movies, TV shows, and then they're in chronological order of when they're coming out.
Very Eugene about it.
It's on a Google Doc. Might
as well be a spreadsheet.
So I think.
Shut up.
I think I'm gonna have to go with something that. The problem with my video game list is that as I was making it, I was sad because I need to get a PS5 and I don't have one yet, and all the games that I want are all going to be, on the PS5 kind of thing. But of the ones on my list, Horizon Forbidden West is probably the one that I look forward to the most, because Horizon Zero Dawn to me was such an amazing game for the PS4. So that is probably what I'm looking forward to the most. As far as on my video game list, we'll talk about my movies and TV shows later.
Okay.
We'll go once around the block.
I've never played it. I know it has a big following. Not only just gamers, like there's a lot of cosplayers that do a lot of stuff from those games. So because I've seen a lot of them are just like, oh yeah, we can't wait to start getting a lot of screenshot and stuff like that, start making stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of interest in that one coming out.
You're gonna love the PS5, dude, when you get one.
I'm
really
looking
good.
forward to it.
I know I won't see him for like a week, but he'll be so happy.
At
He'll be
least.
so happy.
It's such an upgrade. When you can never go back. That's all I'm saying.
Laney, what's one of yours? Oh,
I'm sorry. I'll ask you this after the show, Cyrus.
Okay.
It's not related.
Stay on topic. All right. So I guess I'm gonna start with movies.
all right.
So I have terrible taste in films, so mine's gonna be a little different than you clowns. This one actually has already come out, but I am really excited about it because I'm gonna watch it with Eugene's wife. Barb and Star is a little Kristen Wiig joint that finally came out like yesterday, and it's so stupid. It looks so stupid, and I'm so excited because it's these two women that are totally stuck in the 80s. The theme for
the first 30 seconds of the trailer, you think it's like a Stranger Things
Yeah.
type
yeah,
movie.
I got Joseph real excited for like 5 minutes. He was like, I hate you. But it looks really stupid and really funny, and this year has been 2020 was 2020, and so I'm excited to have something stupid to watch with Christy because there's only ever really specific movies.
What is it coming out on?
And anywhere where you can rent movies. That's
Okay, so
literally
it's
what's
just a VOD thing. Okay.
yeah. So that's what I wanted to do with her this weekend, but the world here in Texas is ending. So
Yeah. Or at least hell froze over down here.
yeah, hell literally froze over.
Yeah. Sean, what's first thing on your list?
My list is totally random. First thing, probably Picard season 2. Probably the fourth quarter of the year, so it'll be later.
I'm sorry, that was really funny. Literally everyone just
Oh, yes, pecans.
Well, yeah, Picard.
I've heard of this Picard.
So, yeah, I got a little taste of it for all those Paramount commercials on the Super Bowl. He was in that, but yeah, I really enjoyed season 1. It's Star Trek. Like, there's a shit ton of Star Trek coming out this year again. So, yeah, this is good. We can be locked down. My shit's coming on the show on TV.
No.
Ray, or actually, okay. So I guess it goes back around. My next thing I had on my list is
You skip Ray.
no, I didn't.
No, it's his turn.
Technically,
me
it's my
then
turn.
Ray, then Cy, then Joseph, then me, then Sean.
Yes.
We have an order. Do it live.
I'm not a cat. The next one I had on my list, we're watching as a group. A large group of us are watching WandaVision, so I'm definitely feeling the Marvel vibes today. My boys and I sat down and watched Captain America: Winter Soldier, which, by the way, if you don't remember, the trailer, the stinger at the end of that one was the introduction of her and her brother. So, because my boys were like, "Who is that?" and I'm like, "Oh boy, this is getting." But so my next one is Black Widow. Like, I'm getting back into gear for the Marvel stuff, and I'm just like, all right, let's go, let's hit it. Like, just give me all the Marvel. So, I mean, I love her as a character. I think it's way too long. Like, granted, it was supposed to come out last year, but I think we should have gotten her story by now. But it is what it is. So It is also kind of interesting going back and watching her story, knowing how she ends, at least at this point. It is also, a movie based on a comic book. So I'm not going to say she's going to stay dead forever. We'll just leave it at that.
I mean, there's speculation that she showed up in the Loki trailer, right?
And see, that was the thing. Like the Loki trailer is going to, I'm telling you, this fourth section of the Marvel movies is just going to take everything and just go crazy with it. I'm completely down for it. So, Ray, what's your next one?
All right. So the little kid in me is like jumping up and down and screaming and saying yes, because I never knew that I wanted this, but Mortal Kombat rated R movie.
It's on my list too.
Nice.
Like, hell yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Like, I only know that they've cast some people and that's it. Like that's.
There is a teaser trailer available to see.
I will go and look that up now.
So, what did you think of the original when it came out?
Okay, so I'm young enough that I enjoyed the original.
I did too.
And then I'm old enough to watch the second one and be like, what the fuck is that shit?
Oh no, the second one was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Dude, the 1995 Mortal Kombat is amazing.
Yes.
There's no other opinion to have about it. I refuse to accept that anybody doesn't like that movie.
I reject your reality.
What about the Mishima little Mortal Kombat series? Did you watch any of it?
I hadn't seen any of it.
Oh
No.
man, you gotta watch that stuff. It is top notch. I think that's what they kind of got the movie kickstarted with.
Oh, is that thing that
It's on
Michael
Netflix.
J. White and
Yes,
the chick was 7 to 9. What's her name? Jerry Ryan was
Jerry
in it.
Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not on Netflix. It's on
No.
that other thing that I have.
The box
Yeah.
that doesn't have a name tag on it? Yeah.
They're like they're mini episodes, so they're really good.
Yeah, I have seen that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I haven't seen that. I need to check that out.
They're fun. It's fun. It's like it's not, what canon, but it's
Whatever.
but it's cool. It's cool.
Si, what's next on your list?
This is tough to pick number 2 for me. It's tough. But I'm gonna have to go with Top Gun. I can't wait. I love Tom Cruise. I don't care what anybody says. He might be crazy, but so am I. And he makes awesome movies. So, and this has been coming. I mean, there's only been one other Top Gun.
Mhm.
Okay. And it has like, a legendary fandom of its own,
Oh boy, does it.
So yeah, I'm all about Top Gun. I can't wait. I'm gonna be playing the NES game, just getting myself geared up for it.
Good luck landing.
That movie looks sick. I got to see it in IMAX. It's supposed to be in IMAX, so hopefully, that happens.
Yeah. So, Joseph, what's next one on your list?
I think I'm gonna bump down to a TV show. Amazon Prime, Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
That series.
That's going to be interesting.
Before I met Elaine, I had this tradition where one Saturday out of the year, well, it started out on a Friday night, I would order a large pizza and wings and throw it in my fridge. And on Saturday morning, I'd wake up at 7 a.m., heat those things up, and then I had the extended cuts of the 3 movies, and that's all I would do that day. Watch all 3 of them back to back, eat my pizza and wings. I did it every year.
So
Never stopped him from doing this.
I was gonna say that's gonna be a tradition up here now.
Yeah. It is fantastic. It's
No.
such a, it is, 17 hours
Oh god.
roughly, but it is.
Deb and I did that the weekend before our first kid was born because it was a scheduled C-section. So we were like, this is our last weekend of freedom. So yeah, she and it was even longer because she's massive. So the bathroom every 45 minutes. So
I was going to say.
yeah, but all 3
Just
movies,
sit
extended
down.
cuts.
You know, I've never watched those Hobbit movies. Like
I really
I
liked
enjoyed them. They were good.
but they're
Yeah.
kids. But it's a kids book, so it's probably why I liked
Yeah.
it.
They're not on par with the originals, but
No.
they're
I've watched
good.
like clips of them, and I've probably seen the best stuff because I watch them on YouTube. You know,
Probably.
but I've never watched those. Like, because everybody at first was like, "Oh, they're horrible. Don't watch them." And then later they're like, "What do you mean you haven't seen them?" And I'm like,
I really like them.
I think the only issue I've ever had with those movies is the parts where characters were added to like try and bring in that Lord of the Rings fandom, and I was like, you could have. It had no real bearing on the movie or itself. Although this was a book written 100 years ago, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I sat through all 3 of the Star Wars sequels, so I think I can deal with it. You know, you know what I'm saying?
I was about to bring that up. It's one of those things. It's like, everyone hated on the prequels, and now everyone's like, no, the prequels are great. The fucking sequels are horrible. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, guys. Just
Wait. In 20 years, there'll be another set of Star Wars movies that'll make these movies better. What?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. Taika Waititi is supposed to direct the next trilogy, so that might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think so. Which I'm okay for. So, Lainey, what's your next one?
I need to get my notebook out. So.
Miss made fun of everyone because it had a list.
Because I am adorable and analog. I have a notebook. It's Joseph's notebook. I left my notebook at work. So.
What you gotta do, Lainey, is when you get the book, you already have your glasses on, so it's not gonna work. But you're supposed to like take your glasses out and slowly like put them on your nose and be like,
Don't gotta tell me twice. So the next one, I put these 2 movies kind of together because they're kind of the same vein, and no one's gonna be shocked. But we're getting that Cruella de Vil movie this year, and I'm really excited because I was reading up on it, and they're using like late 60s, early 70s punk London, like the music scene and the fashion scene is like the backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me really excited because that's an era of music that I really enjoy. So, except I hate the Sex Pistols. But I'm very excited. I think it's going to be really good. And then with that, I'm also excited about the new Jungle Cruise movie that's coming out.
Honorable mention on my list.
It looks fun.
I love that I've always loved that attraction. It's a classic attraction. I'm excited that it's getting a story that does look like it's going to be in keeping with the feel of the actual attraction. And
The
also,
Rock.
and I can give a shit about The Rock.
The Rock makes everything better. But watching that trailer, the first thing I thought watching that trailer was, I'm getting original first movie Pirates of the Caribbean vibes. And I love that movie. That movie was so much fun.
It looks really good. And I'm excited because I think they're going to have like tie-ins from this pretend secret society that they have tied across all of the parks. I'm in deep and I can't wait.
If they're smart, they will do that. They will put so many fucking Easter eggs that only the hardcore Disney people would love. That's what they need to be doing. If they're going to keep doing movies
100%.
like this, they need to be,
100%. And like the deep ones, like the good deep Easter eggs, like I'm really excited for it. Plus, I've already had confirmation that they will not be putting any of the characters in the ride. So we're good.
The Easter eggs, like the location of Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen body.
It's not a thing. I've been all underneath that freaking kingdom.
She crawled under her hands and knees.
And like the ductwork, just.
Believe me, I looked.
So there wasn't a spot where you kind of walked by. I was like, "Whew, it's really cold."
Those were the spots she looked the most.
There's nothing but Mickey Premium bars and secrets back there. So.
Sean, what's your next one?
I'm going to go with a limb here. I'm going to go with Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Ooh.
I loved Venom movie. I know it got panned a lot, but
I haven't seen that.
I know it altered the storyline a little bit and all that, but it was a fun movie to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I think Woody Harrelson is going to be great as Carnage. Everyone was like, "Oh, he can't be Carnage."
Who's playing Carnage?
Great.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Like Natural Born Killers. He can
That's-
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woody Harrelson.
So,
I'm curious if it's going to have any tie into the MCU in any kind of way because of Sony's little Spider Verse that they want to do.
well, and I didn't want to bring it up, but Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange multiverse, like they're gonna tie everything together with those movies. They're doing it
I'm
with
excited.
one right now.
I heard one theory that I'm all for, and that's this is their way of getting Andrew Garfield back, and he's going to be in the Venom one, which I'm all for that.
Oh, okay.
Garfield's all right. They've got Tobey Maguire actually finally signed the last week or so. But that Spider-Man 3 movie is going to be insane.
Oh yeah.
Going back to my choice right now is
Sorry.
But yeah, those ones are on my list too. But
Yeah. Why are you interrupting him all the time?
Because he talks nonsense.
yeah, right.
My next one is honestly, I was just kind of interested in this, and then my brother-in-law there, Joseph, was like, "Hey, did you realize that like all the movies, the big movies, are on freaking whatever? It's happening. Just we don't need it yet." He's like, "Hey, have you seen Kong?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see the newest Kong movie." He's like, "It's on HBO Max." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to check that out." Dude, that movie was good. Like, first off, John C. Reilly, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. John C. Reilly is probably a much better actor than what's his face ever wishes he was.
Did you never see Chicago?
Dude.
No, I didn't see Chicago.
John C. Reilly is a very good actor.
He was a serious dramatic actor before anybody ever knew him as a comedian.
Well, see, I didn't know that. Like he does such a good job at the comedy stuff. And granted, he is still doing comedy stuff in this, but he steals every scene that he's in. And there are some huge names in this movie that I was just like, shit, Sam Jackson's in this movie? I forgot Sam Jackson was in this movie.
Gangs of New York. He's in that. John C. Reilly.
I've seen that. Who was he in?
He's the cop that gets killed. He's the cop that nobody likes that gets killed.
Damn, maybe I need to go back and watch that.
That's a great movie, and he's really good in that.
But no, he's got range, and like it's just fucking awesome to watch it. But it's like I watched it, and now I'm like, man.
When he started doing comedy, everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to do this." It was a whole thing. Like
I didn't know about that. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm extremely excited for Godzilla versus Kong now. I liked both of the Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
If you watch it, the science that they put forward is so ridiculous, but it's just like, whatever. Quit talking. I want to see giant monsters fight. Like that's why I'm here. And that's what I'm going to get to see. And I can't wait to see it. And the fact that everyone's already just like, it doesn't make sense. Kong's the good guy in these movies. Godzilla's the good guy in these movies. Why are the good guys fighting unless they're going to fight something else? And everyone's already pointed out, well, what if it's Mechagodzilla? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm all about it. So yeah, I can't wait for Godzilla versus Kong. That is one of those movies that I should have my second COVID shot by then. And I don't know, probably not. But I would really love to see that in the movie theater.
We'll make it movie theatery and like make nachos and stuff and use the like badass sound system.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, I need to check to see if like some of the local theaters here were doing a thing. It was like for $100 you could rent out the theater for like 10 people, and I'm just like, hell, I might be able to find 10 people interest. Like, that would be awesome. Like, because I mean, a ticket normally runs you $10 a piece. Hell, if you just found 5 other people, it still wouldn't be that bad. So anyway, yeah, that might be something that happens. All right, Ray, Ray, what's next on your list?
So I just kind of lumped like MCU as one whole thing. So I'm going to go to my next one because there's so much MCU stuff that I'm all on board. The next one, I'm really glad I have Disney Plus because I want to watch the Beatles get back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that looks
so
fantastic. So if you don't know what it is, so the Beatles, somebody has scrounged through all of their footage of the Beatles, behind the scenes stuff, you name it, they've got it all. And they are going through it and making a whole movie on all of this back stuff that has never been seen before. And they've if you have Disney Plus, they've already shown a little. If there's like a teaser, it's like a 5 or 6 minute teaser. And if that doesn't get you hooked, you're not a Beatles fan. So yeah, I'm in.
That sounds great. I actually really want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even that much of a Beatles fan, but just like from a music history perspective, it looks
Oh yeah.
really good.
The Beatles were better than they had any reason to be.
Right to be. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So what's your next one?
Before I get to that, I just want to name off some movies that John C. Reilly was in. Above the Law, Casualties of War, Days of Thunder, The Thin Red Line, like how many? The River Wild, Dolores Claiborne. Damn.
For dramatic.
Well, that was Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Holy crap! I disconnected everything.
You're good.
You're good.
We can hear
We
you.
can see and hear you.
Yeah.
You can't see me anymore.
No, we can see you.
Okay. That was weird. Okay. Well, I made my point.
You've made my point. You have made the point.
So, one thing I think that variety in life is very important. You might even call variety the spice of life. And I'm a big fan of spice. And I think it all started when I was a kid and I watched this amazing movie by David Lynch that blew my mind. And then my brother was like, those are books. And I was like, they're books. And it turns out the books are, of course, way better. And they have tried to figure out a way to come back to this series. And now they're trying again. And this one actually looks pretty cool. So, of course, I'm talking about Dune. I'm really looking forward to Dune. I think it's going to be great. It's got some amazing actors in it. And I have a lot of faith that this one's going to be the good one. I think this one's going to be good.
Yeah.
Please, God, please.
It was next on my list.
Yeah. Dune. Yes. I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to overhype. I don't want to get like crazy because we've been disappointed many times in the past. But
Many times.
But I'm hopeful this works out because we need it. We really do need it. There's only so many Star Wars, Star Trek, and Marvel movies that you can make. And then you need something else. DC's doing the best they can. Zack Snyder, please. But yeah, we need something else.
Just thinking about something here. Can we get Patrick Stewart in a Star Wars movie?
Well, he was in the Dune.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then he would be.
He's been in Dune.
Wow, and he was in X-Men, so he's been in the Marvel stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Oswald's
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec thing
Filibuster.
about the reality.
Oh, the filibuster, yes.
The gloved hand of Boba Fett emerges from the Star Wars.
no, Robert Rodriguez's version of what happens with Boba Fett was way better. I thought he was the guy that directed the Boba Fett episode.
Yes, he was, and it was fantastic.
I love this.
Thank God it was him. He was the right guy in the right place at the right time for the right reason.
I love that.
What a beautiful show. What a beautiful show.
Joseph, what's your next one?
So I don't know if I'm going to be. So I'll preface this.
Oh God.
With my friends back home, I'm probably going to be in the minority on this. But with you guys, I think we might be somewhere in there. The Matrix 4.
Ooh.
Matrix 4 is supposed to come out later this year. I love the Matrix. I was, I think it came out, was it 98, 99? The first one came out, something like that?
99.
I was a freshman in high school. It was like the science fiction was just starting to be my jam, and I saw that, and it was just like, and I've made her watch the first one. She doesn't want to watch the second and third one.
The whole movie is like, well, I can't tell you why this is a thing, but it's a thing. Like, that's literally how they explain everything, and
And I do happen to kind of like those super random fan theories about how John Wick is actually Neo, and how those two movies, they're all part of the same universe or whatever. But yeah, the Matrix 4
I
is
do love Keanu.
Well, those directors, what is it, Wachowski?
the sisters now.
Sisters now, yeah,
Yeah.
they are
Mhm.
brilliant, but a little crazy. So obviously, and
Yeah.
I think there's no way to predict what to expect in the
Oh,
Matrix
yeah.
stuff. So I need to see something. Like I don't know what to expect.
Two
But
things.
yeah,
Two things I guess on this. Number one, I did not care for the second and third movies.
they're better than you think they are.
And you know what?
Again, go back and watch them again.
And see, here's the thing. I probably need to go back and just be like, you know what? Just treat this like a popcorn movie, and then I'll probably be fine. The problem was I was expecting, because unfortunately, none does a bunch of stuff. I've already given this speech. I'm not going back into it. Second thing is, if you watch Movies with Mikey on YouTube, his latest episode, he actually talks about Speed Racer, the Speed Racer movie that they did.
Mhm.
And he talks about how crazy and how like cutting edge and stuff it was, and the fact that it came out 3 weeks after Iron Man, and it had no chance at all, like zero chance. It premiered number 7 that weekend and never got any higher than that. And there's like it's crazy, and it's from a movie critic, movie theory person. It's phenomenal because of all the stuff that they try and all the stuff that they do. He's just like, it just had no prayer at all.
Did y'all ever see Cloud Atlas?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
on my list. I haven't watched it
Yes.
yet.
Dude, Eugene.
I know.
It's definitely watching it. You're gonna have to buckle down and sit down because it's like a 4-hour movie or something like that.
It's
But,
pretty long, yeah.
And I understand you have to focus.
Great.
Yeah,
story.
that's the thing is you cannot have any
Dude,
distractions.
don't you love movies like that though? Like
I do like movies like that.
I do. The problem is when Cloud Atlas came out, we couldn't go to the theater because we had little ones, and when we had little ones at home, I couldn't watch that movie. And
Yeah.
like it was pay attention.
But
and,
that's not it. I mean, Mulholland Drive, dude. Mulholland Drive. Like, come on, it's an amazing movie. Like, it's not an excuse. I couldn't have kids. Look, I'm sorry, it's still an amazing movie.
Lainey, what's your next one?
I'm gonna lump these next ones in because they're all on Disney Plus. So I'm very excited for Book of Boba Fett. I really enjoyed The Mandalorian, like more than I think I anticipated that I would. Like I knew I would like it.
You and everyone else.
I mean, truly, like I knew that I would like it, but I mean, think about it. Like I love Star Wars content, but it's a space western, and that's not really my lane. But I loved it. I really, really loved it. Also, I'm madly in love with Pedro Pascal. I didn't know how to tell you until right now. I'm really sorry. But except I tell him literally every time we watch anything with Pedro Pascal in it. But I'm very excited for Book of Boba Fett. I'm kind of hoping, I don't want it to have the exact same feel of The Mandalorian because I think that is very specific to The Mandalorian. It's a very Desperado thing. That's his jam. I like it like that. But given how good that turned out, I'm really excited to see what they do with Book of Boba Fett. And I'm glad they're finally giving people what they promised them in the first place. Because way back, this was back when I was still working at the park, they were talking about this, and then they gave everybody The Mandalorian, and I think that's what everyone's thought they meant by like a Boba Fett style show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited that we're finally getting that. It's going to be really cool. And then I'm also really stoked for the Loki series. I like all the Thor movies. I'm down for some more Loki. That's going to be really good. But I'm going to be honest with you, the thing that I'm absolutely the most excited about, that I cannot wait for, like I get giddy and excited just thinking about it, is that next week they're going to put the entire series of the original Muppet Show on Disney Plus. And
Awesome.
I almost started crying when I saw the announcement. I'm really, really, really excited.
That being said, that's what my next week is going to be because I did not watch the original Muppet Show, so she needs to educate me.
It's so important. Like that thing, it has such a special place in my heart. It's how my dad introduced a lot of comedy to me when I was growing up. Like I can't believe he's never seen the John Cleese episode. Like, that's classic. That's
Are
like
are they getting every single episode?
a whole series?
So they're they're not gonna drop any.
I don't
That's
know.
really interesting because that's because there's definitely some people that were on that show that like, oh wait, here's the collection of season 1. It's like, yeah, but you're missing this episode or you're missing
I
that
don't know.
episode, and
I don't know for sure. They've just said in its entirety, so I'm hoping that we get all of them.
hopefully so.
I would assume. I mean, all of the Monty Python guys have a pretty decent relationship with Disney, so I'm hoping that that'll be a thing. Eric Idle is in like 2 different attractions, or was at one time, so I'm hoping it'll be fine. But I'm excited. I'm excited for him to watch it. I'm excited for him to see it because I'm desperately trying to get him to understand why the Muppets are as funny as they are, because they are. It's adult humor. It's funny.
I had never seen the Muppet movie.
The original 1970s Muppet movie, which is a delight.
It was like Christmas?
Yes.
Which is the one with the where there's the robbers who are trying to take the diamond?
Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
That's a great one too. He hasn't watched that one yet, but that's one of my favorites.
Oh, you got to see that one. Miss Piggy does martial arts and that.
Piggy does martial arts. Piggy has an entire fashion show around her. There's a whole musical number for her, and it's hilarious.
I will
live. I'm so excited.
I will clarify. I am not completely. I don't completely Muppet adverse. I watched the Muppet Babies when I was a kid.
So then you're already halfway there. You're
already inoculated.
You are allowed in the gate.
Yeah.
I will allow you.
It's that meme where it's like, close the gate, open it a little.
Open it up just a teensy tiny bit. I'm excited for you though. You get to experience all this for the first time. I get to see things that I haven't seen in 20 years. I'm really excited. So that was my highlight so far of 2021 was I finally get the Muppet Show. And I mean, you guys, it was stupid. Like my friends that don't even live in this state were like texting me like, "Are you so excited? Congratulations. We can't believe it. Like this is amazing."
This is bigger than your wedding day.
Yeah. Real quick, Sean, before we go to your next one, Chris has joined us for at least a minute or two. What is something you're looking forward to in 2021?
So the graphic designers of Harry Potter are redoing the books. They're illustrating some of the pages, and I got the first one last year for my birthday, and then the second one comes out. So Chamber of Secrets comes out on October 19th, and you can pre-order it now.
So I'd like to thank Mina Lima for allowing me to have a birthday gift for Chris for the next 7 years.
Because they're
beautiful.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Oh, they're
and
amazingly
so
made.
clever and just really, really creative. And when we lived at the cottage, we didn't have any space to collect anything because it was so small. So here I'm just sort of letting it happen, and I'm starting to collect stuff. And that's what and they're gorgeous. So that's the one thing off the top of my head that I'm really, really excited for. They're ready for pre-order, by the way.
Very cool.
She's just letting you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was
FYI for your information.
They'll be ready by
open like another browser window and just like.
I did that last year. I did. I had the browser window up for him.
It was there.
Yeah.
And then when she asked, like, so should I order this? Like, it's already ordered.
That's me. That's me to you.
But it's a big birthday this year for me, so
Yes.
That's exciting.
All right,
Sean. Yeah. All right, Sean. What's the next thing on your list?
I'm gonna lump a few together because I don't think anyone's gonna pick them anyway. Back to Star Trek. So this year, what do we got? Lower Decks season 2.
Damn, he just got up in the middle while you were
talking.
talking.
Be coming up. What?
Ray just got up in the middle while you're talking. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's a dick that way. Don't worry about it.
I have not seen Lower Decks, but I've heard good and bad about Picard. I've heard good and bad about the other Star Trek series. Lower Decks, I've heard nothing but good stuff. I've heard it is fantastic.
It is so funny, and if you're a Star Trek fan, it is so much better because like every 30 seconds they're including like a tidbit from a different series. The statue of O'Brien in one of the episodes was absolute hilarious. Even my kids were howling laughing. It was so good. But also, so Lower Deck season 2, Discovery season 4, as long as COVID doesn't shut down production again in Toronto, but should be fourth quarter. And with that one, oh, thank God, I think they're getting away from the serialized series, which I'm getting really tired of. I'm not really big on the serial thing. Like Picard did it, Discovery, the first 3 seasons did it. So they're gonna get back into the kind of the Planet of the Week kind of thing. And with that, Strange New Worlds should air, and that's with Pike, and that'll have Spock in it. And once again, that's going to be like going out and seeing new planets every week. There may be a slight arc, but they're finally getting away from those serialized stories. So back to like the original series and TNG and stuff like that. So yeah, three more seasons. As long as COVID doesn't shut them down, good year for Star Trek.
Good deal. Yeah, sometimes going back, sometimes it is nice to watch a Monster of the Week show. It's just like, sometimes an overarching story is fine, but sometimes you're just like, okay, cool. This week we got the bad guy. Next week on, it's yes. You don't have to feel like every
Like
single week is
like-
massive and big and.
You remember how X-Files would do that? Like it had its ongoing thing, but then there was a bunch of episodes that were like that, and I love those are my favorite
The
episodes.
Creatures of the Week, it was perfect. They always threw some in there. So yeah, X-Files was like that.
And see, that's one of the things I liked about The Mandalorian, especially the beginning of the second season. Is like, okay, we have to go find a Jedi, but this week we go to this planet. This week we go to this planet. This week we go to this planet. And yes, I was totally down for that. And had the whole season been that, I would have been like, cool. All right,
frog people, and
just keep going.
My only request for a new Star Trek is, can we bring back Q?
There was talk of him coming back in.
Yeah,
Please.
He would have been fantastic.
I was just glad to see so many of the people. That was really cool. And the Data thing and Riker and
Well, that corrected one of the biggest things that people didn't like about Nemesis with Data's demise. It able to end that story for Trekkers and stuff like that a lot nicer. But yeah, there's LeVar Burton's been approached. Last I heard, Michael Dorn hadn't been yet, which kind of surprised me. That's Worf.
Yeah.
I keep watching to see if Will Wheaton gets asked on, because that's okay. I love Will Wheaton, and I was a big fan of Wesley Crusher, so I was in the minority growing up.
We just needed.
I liked him.
We just need him to show up for one scene, and you know what that is.
Shut up, Wesley.
We need him to say it. Yeah, we need one.
No, what would be better? It'd be Shut Up, Picard.
Oh yeah, actually,
you're right. That would
work.
Yeah,
I would love to see Will Wheaton in
But
Picard, and he makes sense to bring him back on. So
yeah,
they're doing a nostalgia thing.
How do you that he was supposed to be the evolution of humans, right? Like that was supposed to be.
There was deleted scenes in the movies and all that he was a part of in the books, and the books aren't canon.
Yeah.
But they do bring him back in very interesting ways, and it's great. It would be perfect to bring him back.
Cool.
So the cast, I think Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes did awesome, and
oh yeah,
there's talk of their own series as well, as in Titan. So, and then you get the whole backstory of what happened to their kids.
Man, I love Jonathan Frakes, man. I would really like to see him.
Except my kids they know when Jonathan Frakes directs an episode because he really goes overboard with the camera spinning. And before the director even comes up. Oh, this is a Jonathan Frakes episode because I'm gonna get sick.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, but yeah, the rest of the Star Trek series coming out. But definitely check out Lower Decks when you get a chance. It is so funny and well written.
That's what I've heard.
Is Seth MacFarlane still doing that one show he was doing that's like Star Trek?
Orville.
Yeah.
Orville.
That's on my list too. I was gonna wait. So.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's you.
yeah,
Still,
yeah. I won't ruin that for you.
I'm gonna jump down my list here. I don't think anyone's necessarily gonna pick this one. Disney basically came out and was like, "Hey, by the way, here's like 42 new Marvel things and 42 new Star Wars things." And of all of the Star Wars stuff they listed, I'm excited about almost all of it. But the thing that really makes me excited is, and it's kind of odd to say this, is Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm so excited about it is because the Clone Wars honestly saved Star Wars for my boys. Like, I pushed Star Wars on them a little too young, and watching the Clone Wars with them kind of saved Star Wars. But I grew to love those characters, and there was a few episodes where this group of, quote unquote messed up clones shows up, the Bad Batch, and to see what happens to them after Order 66, because they were messed up. They would not have fallen in line with Order 66. So they are clone troopers that are now thrown into a universe where they are being hunted by the new Empire. And I'm just like, hell yes. But like, when I showed that stuff to my boys and Nicholas saw that trailer, he got super excited. And I'm just like, all right, I've got another show to watch at night with the boys. And that just, I really enjoyed doing that. Like, we watched all of the Clone Wars. We watched all of Rebels. And we watched The Mandalorian together. We'll continue to watch all the different shows. And it's nice sitting down with the boys and watching it, and having another show coming out that we can do that is just, from a daddy, that's something I'm really excited about. So, Ray, what's next on your list?
I don't know how many more we want to go.
I'll tell you what, we'll do this round and maybe one more.
Okay.
I only have one more. So.
Anyway. I have a few. So my next one, I'll kind of finish the list. You know what? I'm gonna go with new music. Weezer's coming out with a new album, and I'm excited. Yeah.
That's on my list.
I'm all in. So Foo Fighters dropped theirs. I'll get into my pan later, but not a shot at Foo Fighters. I promise you that.
You can love a band and not like an album. That's the thing.
Oh, there's a story there. Anyway, so yeah, Medicine Midnight. I'd like to be excited about it, but there's a reason why I can't yet. And then anyway, Weezer. Yeah, it's Van Weezer is the album, and it's dropping, I think, later in March.
Rivers Cuomo can't stop. Like, he's gonna make music till he drops dead, and I love that for him.
Sorry, what's next up on your list?
Last thing I got is, if it ever finally comes out, the next James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
Oh yeah.
I love James Bond, and I think Daniel Craig has done a great job. He took this series in a very different direction, and I like all of the movies that he made. I think they're all good. Some of them are better than others, but they're all good.
Yeah.
And this one I think looks interesting. I'm not going to be judgmental about what I think might happen in it based on hearing things or whatever. I just want to see the movie. And if it ends up being the end of traditional, and he's not even really traditional James Bond, but like if this is pretty much it for James Bond, then I really want to see this movie, and I want to enjoy it. And it getting delayed has actually been kind of cool for me, because when it first got announced, I wasn't like super excited, because there was a bunch of talk about things and what's going on with this movie and stuff. But then it's been delayed so long that I've had enough time to, really start to get excited about it and interested in it. Plus that song came out, and whatever you think about that theme song. I'm sure you've heard it. What's her name? The young. I can't. My brain just crapped. The chick with the green hair that's does all the crazy videos.
Billie Eilish.
Billie
Billie
Eilish.
Eilish?
Billie Eilish. She
Yeah.
does the theme song for this one, and it is phenomenal. Like the theme song is so good that I listen to that song all the time because it's really good, and it's one of those songs that makes you imagine things, and that's my favorite kind of music. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how James Bond how it wraps up with at least with Daniel Craig and maybe with the character depending on what happens. But yeah, I'm excited about it. So, but by the way, Eugene, you might find this interesting. Video game related. There's a GoldenEye that was a remake of the N64 GoldenEye that was supposed to come out on Xbox. It got leaked online, and if you can find it, you can play it, and it's supposed to be amazing. I haven't tried it myself, but they were talking about James Bond. I'm like,
Yeah, I heard about that, and I think I tried tracking it down at one point. I don't remember, but when I first heard about it, I was like, "Ooh, GoldenEye, like hell yeah!" So
yeah, it looks great. I really do want to play it. I just haven't, I've been preoccupied with other stuff. But,
imagine that. Joseph, what's next on your list?
All right. Well, we're gonna do this round and one more. I'll save movies and TV shows for the next one, so I'll go to video games on this one. There's 4 video games left on my list. 2, I'm not the judge, but 2 I definitely know I'm going to be in the minority on these 2. MLB The Show and Madden 22.
Yeah.
All the jock in me does come out, But Resident Evil Village looks fantastic. And then they're doing an entire Skywalker saga in Lego. So the Lego Skywalker saga.
I saw that.
That's awesome.
So those are my video. Basically, this is my unofficial Christmas / anniversary and birthday wish list.
Well, how about you just
Joe, you got to play new Madden on PS5, dude. It's really fun. Yeah, and it looks so good.
Yeah.
So basically, Lainey, just go back and listen to this episode and just jot stuff down. Yeah. Speaking of Lainey, what's your next on your list?
So, I'm gonna do some TV shows for this particular round. Three non-Disney Plus things that I'm actually really excited about. We're gonna get. I don't know. This might be the wrong crowd, but Pen 15 has been one of my favorite new series that's come out in the last couple of years.
It's actually pretty funny.
It's hilarious. It is a series written and acted out by 2 women that are around my same age that were in their early teens.
They takes place when they were in 7th grade, and then
so it's like the early 2000s, and it's the same age I was in that exact same time, and it's just a perfect representation of the pure hell that is being a preteen girl in the early 2000s. It was just god awful. So, but it's such a good show, and it's so funny. What's up, right?
15?
Pen 15, like when you would type in penis on a calculator. So,
Now everybody wants to see it.
They're coming out with the second part of the second season because their production got cut short because of COVID. So I am really excited. It's so funny. And the way that they do it is funny. The lead actresses are both like my age, but all of the other actors are kids that are actually like 12 and 13. So the way the show looks is super fun. It's so funny. And it's so realistic. And it's everything that I experienced, and I love it. I'm also really stoked about another season of Euphoria. Again, probably not the right crowd, but I really enjoyed the first season. The way that they write those characters, the camera work, the lighting, everything on that show is so visually stunning.
Who's in that?
Do what?
Who's in that show?
Zendaya. She's like the big lead actress.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely loved it. I really loved it. The soundtrack was incredible. I listened to that on a regular basis. Just really, really, really good stuff. I'm hoping they bring Labyrinth back to do the soundtrack for the second season. So really great show. I really loved it. I'm excited to see what else they do with these characters. And then I love true crime. I'm very excited about this. There's a oh hi Marley.
There's a cat
there's
climbing.
a cat. There's another true crime story coming out about the impeachment of Bill Clinton with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. I can't wait. I love the OJ one. The Versace one was also really good. I didn't like it as much, but I'm also not as familiar with the murder of Gianni Versace. So, but I really enjoyed it. Like Ryan Murphy did a great job. So I'm excited for this. I have, in the last 6 months, I started listening to a podcast called You're Wrong About, and they did a really good in-depth look at the Clinton impeachment thing and everything that happened with Monica Lewinsky. And the way that they did it was really good. I really liked all the insight that they gave to it, because I was like 6 when all that happened, so I barely remember any of it. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be really, really good and really, really interesting. And I'm excited to see kind of who they get to act in that. So, because Ryan Murphy, I mean, has his pick of people. So I'm excited. It's going to be good stuff.
Good deal. Yeah, I heard really good things about the OJ thing. So I'm sure whenever this one drops, everyone will be talking about it as well. So
yeah, Christy and I watched the OJ one like together like twice.
Yeah. Sean, what's next on your list?
Well, I'll go with Orville season 3. If it ever comes out, it's
Such a great
it
show.
switched to Hulu, which is like
It did.
Yeah. So Fox
Disney
had it
Plus.
for the first 2, and then they switched it to Hulu, which probably would have been okay because it extended. They didn't get boxed in like they did with Fox with how long the episodes had to be, and the production could go as long as they wanted, kind of thing. COVID hit. They're both owned by Disney, so the upper management stuff didn't change too much, but it's got to be awkward as hell on that set with the two main two of the main characters were married in real life and got divorced in real life. So that's going to be a little tense. But there's been a lot of like hinting at problems going on with it, and it almost got kiboshed, but it was so good. It was so smart and funny, and I gotta wait for it to come on Blu-ray too because I'm not getting Hulu, and it's like, oh, God damn it. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it'll make it on to network television at some point. I typically wait till it goes on Blu-ray anyway because then I can watch it all back to back. My kids, my family, we all loved it. We got the first 2 seasons. So, but yeah, we need more, and it's just been going on and on and on. So hopefully 2021's the year it finally gets released.
It's on my it's in my Hulu queue.
You still haven't watched the first 2?
No, I haven't watched.
How often we've been on you about this?
I know this. The problem is I'm like, do I want to start this series because I know I'm just gonna end up getting hooked and tear through it.
The answer is yes.
I know. I still haven't finished the second season of, or maybe it's the third season of speaking of Seth MacFarlane, the Cosmos that he did.
That's fine. But that
no, because it's great.
Go to the Orville.
Okay, well.
Game of Thrones?
You never watched The Expanse either, have you, Eugene?
No, I have not.
You're 5 seasons in now, man.
I know, and I've heard it's fantastic as well.
There's this show called WandaVision. Have you?
Oh,
you changed, bro.
I know, right? All right, so we'll make this kind of. I'm not gonna run through all of everything because I've got like 4 more things on the list. Trying to say if there's one that I know that y'all won't pick necessarily.
I'm running through.
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'll go with this one. Foundation. The trailer for it looks interesting as hell. It's coming to Apple, the Apple Plus thing, which I mean, Christy and I have it free right now, so it's like it's not going to cost me anything to watch it or whatever. But it just, I know it's based on the series of books, and I've heard really good things about the series of books, and I'm just like, the art direction on it just looks phenomenal, and I'm just like, this looks like hardcore sci-fi that, going back to like you were saying about Dune, like I love pop sci-fi, but sometimes you just want some hardcore, out there, crazy ass sci-fi.
You want to hear something funny? So I told my brother about this, that they were doing Foundation, and I thought he might be interested, like because he's like big fan, Isaac Asimov and all this stuff, and I was like, so you're gonna, what do you think they're gonna do? And he goes, this is bullshit, and I was like, what? He's like, there's no way you can do it, and he starts naming off all, because he's like a big, I'm like, oh, slowly back out of the room.
So this is one of the sci-fi, pardon me, this is like one of the sci-fi versions when people were saying, hey, did you know they're going to do The Watchmen as a movie? And that can't be done. Here's why.
He's like that with Watchmen. He's the same with what? Because I did that Watchmen motion comic where I did the voice, and I started talking to him about Watchmen one night, and he got mad because he started talking about all this stuff that was like, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do this, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I like that movie though in this show.
Did too. Like, in fact, I will be blasphemous and actually say I liked the ending of the movie better.
Okay, now you're gonna get in trouble.
I don't want to say I'm gonna get in trouble, but to me, it made more sense to make him the villain instead of, oh look, giant space monster out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Okay,
well,
all right, that's a thing.
But
whatever. Anyway,
some people get real excited.
I know. I've had those conversations before, and believe me, that was I did not voice my opinion on that one. It was just like, yeah, you're right. The book was just so much better. So anyway,
he got mad when I told him about that show. What's it called again? Foundation. He was like, he wasn't having it. I was like,
yeah. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. So, Ray, what's the last one you've got? And then maybe we'll do honorable mention or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll save one just in case Lainey does pick it, because it's on my list just in case Lainey doesn't know.
Wait a minute. Is this where the two circles intersect?
Yeah, there's this little.
No, Lainey may have just not put it on her list.
Yeah, that's why I'm just waiting.
Oh.
So I'm going to throw two out there that are obscure movies that I don't think are going to be on other people's lists. So one is The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, because I love The Hitman's Wife, or The Hitman's Bodyguard. I thought it was a funny, hilarious fucking movie, and you gotta love Samuel Jackson working with Ryan Reynolds, and now you add Selma Hayek in there, and I'm all in. So definitely her. And then the other one is they are they're going to continue the story of Candyman, and they actually got the original actor and everything. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's see where they go with that. So
they got the original. They got the original guy that played Candyman to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a couple podcasts I listen to, and some of them on there are big horror buffs, and like everyone in the community that's like really into horror stuff is like losing their mind over this one. They are excited as shit for this.
He is so cool. Like he has like the best voice.
Yeah, he does.
Man, I thought they were casting somebody else.
Oh, they brought him back.
I have to see it.
That was Worf's brother in Star Trek. Just throwing that out there.
It all comes back to Star Trek.
Trek.
Star Trek and the Muppets. It's all.
Hey, and there's Muppets are part of Star Wars too. So I mean,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sai, did you have anything else you wanted to throw out there?
Nah, I'm good, man.
You good? Joseph.
So I'm looking at my list of movies and TV shows, and I know we talked about all the encompassing all the Marvel stuff into one thing, so I won't mention anything like that. The King's Man, I really enjoyed The King's Man, so The King's Man looks really cool. The they're doing a Snake Eyes origin story at some point in time. It's supposed to come out this year. So that should be pretty cool, I hope. And then as far as TV shows are concerned, obviously the second season of The Witcher.
That was on my list.
The second season, The Witcher, was fantastic. Stranger Things season 4 at some point in time this year. And then I don't know if any of y'all have ever watched this, but the 4th season of Atypical is supposed to come out this year.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
It's a great show.
That's
It is
a
a fantastic
fantastic
show. It is. If you all don't know, it is the story of an autistic kid in high school, and he decides one day that he wants to have a girlfriend, and all the trials and tribulations that he goes through to try and make that happen.
And it takes a really interesting look at like the stress on his family and how his family has learned to acclimate and meet his needs while still meeting their. It's really good.
Yeah.
That's one of the first shows that he ever introduced me to when we first started dating, and I was really pissed because I really liked it.
But it was also one of those things where it kind of stuck me because I am not on the spectrum, but there are a lot of things that he does that I also do that kind of makes it like, huh, you know.
Yeah, Joseph had an identity crisis when he first started watching it.
Joseph's like, this is too close.
Wait
This is
a
too
minute.
close.
Listen, I've done all of those
No,
things.
you're just neurotic.
Lainey, is there anything else on your list?
Of course. So I wasn't sure exactly where to put this because of that's what she said. Because it's not really video game, movie, or TV related, but it is theme park related, and no one should be shocked. Get ready. Buckle up. So
Theme park related Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land looks great. Oh, side note, if you have an extra 30 minutes, which I know no one does, go on YouTube because they opened the Nintendo Land in Japan, Universal Studios Japan.
My kids watch that.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
They did a damn good job with it.
I'm so impressed. And the one in Orlando looks like it's going to be really good too. So I'm excited. It's going to be good stuff.
Been delayed, but yeah.
Yes. Well, speaking of delays, fantastic segue, right? Thank you so much. So we were supposed to get a major overhaul of Epcot in the next couple of years. And I was really excited about it because I love Epcot. It's one of my favorite parks. It holds a really special place in my heart. But with COVID and everything, and as much as tourism has been down, they've had to really delay a lot of stuff. But there's still a lot of things that are happening that I'm really excited about that are hopefully going to open this year. The one, honestly, that I'm probably the most excited about is the Space 220 restaurant that they're going to open in Epcot. It's going to be in Future World. I know I'm saying a lot of words that Ray understands, but Ray's like, yeah, 100%. But
Hey,
they're going to open
The Tron ride looks good too, okay?
The Tron ride looks
Ooh.
incredible. Okay,
Dude,
we're going to get there. So
riding a light cycle?
light
Fuck
cycle?
yes. Are you kidding me? That's something like I've wanted since a kid.
I'm so excited. So the Space 220 restaurant, that's honestly the thing I'm most excited about. It feels very old school Epcot. They're going to attach it onto the Mission Space Pavilion. If you want to call it a pavilion, it's a ride. But it looks really cool. And the way that they're going to kind of set up the story is kind of reminds me of what it was like as a kid to go into the living seas and get on the hydrolators and feel like you were going like hundreds of miles underneath the ocean surface. I'm really excited about it. Even if the food is terrible, the atmosphere looks incredible, and I cannot wait. I really can't wait. It's already been delayed.
Keep that bar low. Keep that bar low.
Listen, sometimes you go to a Disney restaurant and you are shocked at how good the food is, and sometimes you go and you're like, what the fuck is this? So
Yeah, I totally agree because the most expensive meal we had there when we were staying there, I was like, this was okay. And then one of the meals we went to, I was just like, oh my God, this may be the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
I'm telling you. So I'm really excited about that. That looks like it's going to be incredible. The Tron light cycle coaster looks amazing. I've watched video of it, of the one in Shanghai, and it looks, it's beautiful. Like, it's incredible to watch. The ride system is so great. Like, it's a whole new breed of roller coaster that I'm really excited about. It looks amazing. Hoping that's going to open this year.
I want Remy's ride to come as well.
Oh my gosh. So Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is slated to open with the 50th anniversary of the park. We're very excited about it. It looks really, really good. They have something similar in Paris, and it's great. Everybody loves it. It's a dark ride, but it's like a new take on a dark ride. It looks great. I'm excited about that. And then this isn't a big thing. Like, no one else really cares about it, but I care about it because I love classic Disney attractions. I touched on it earlier, but we're getting some Jungle Cruise updates that I am not angry about, which that is saying a lot. It's honestly, I'd say like every 30 years or so, they kind of go in and give everything a little bit of a spruce. But with this one, they've gone back to, oh my God, I can't even remember the Imagineer's name off the top of my head now. I'm a fraud, but they're going back to some original sketches from the last time they added new elements into the ride. And so they're going to be kind of keeping within that same feel and that same look, but just adding some new things to make the ride, to give the skippers new material and to take out some of the problematic stuff that's in that ride that doesn't really need to be there anymore because it's 2021. Come on. So I'm really excited, and they're not going to add anybody from the new movie, and I'm even more excited about that because I don't need a rock animatronic. Like, I'm good. It would be silly. So I'm really excited, and I'm honestly, more than anything, I'm just hoping to get to go this year. I didn't get to take my family reunion vacation last year like I always do, and I miss my friends. I really want to see them, but we all have agreed it's not safe, so we're not going to do it. So I'm really hoping that
you know what you could do, Lainey? If you could take a trip to Houston, you could go to the airport at Houston, and they have a monorail just like the one they have at Disney. It's just like it. Like there's a guy who made a video about it. It's fascinating.
You say that. When I was a kid, my dad totally tried to convince me that we were already at Walt Disney World when we got to the Orlando airport because there is a monorail in the airport. He was like, "Ta-da!" And I was so upset. I was like, "Great, this is cool."
Yeah. Quick side note, you were talking about Tron. What I was checking on my phone was something I'm still pissed about. They have yet to upgrade Tron Legacy on Disney Plus to 4K HDR, and by God, they've got to do that because that is a movie that you like test out a television on. Like,
yeah.
God, that movie looks fantastic, but I want to see it 4K HDR because man, that movie would pop. Sean,
aren't they doing a Tron show? Isn't something coming?
I thought I heard something about. They did some like animated shorts, but I think you're right. I think I had heard something about it.
Yeah.
So
they keep talking about stuff. Who knows?
Honestly, though, this would be the year that they would do it. The parks aren't bringing in that much money, so they're trying to pump as much into the Disney Plus faction.
Oh, yeah. I know something I can't say publicly. Okay, I'll have to talk to you about it later.
Dope.
Okay. Sean, what's the last thing on your list?
Well, first off, Tony Todd. That was the name of Candyman that you were looking for.
Thank you.
In Star Trek, but actually, he also plays other characters in Star Trek. But I digress. Free Guy coming in May. Kept getting pushed back. Ryan Reynolds, our best Canadian. Should be Prime Minister.
He is a peach.
Well, yeah.
He's not the best, but he's a peach.
He's so dreamy. Oh, anyway. But that's the Canadian sense of humor. He represents all of us. That's what we're like every day. Anyway. Yeah, Free Guy. It kept getting pushed back, but it looks freaking funny. Oh my God. Just even my boys are like watching it like, we have to see this, Dad. Because him playing the NPC, it's so original too.
What is it rated? I forgot. What is it rated? Is it PG-13?
Well, probably it's a Ryan Reynolds. It'd probably be close to a Deadpool. Well, not quite.
I may have to watch it first, but when my boys saw the trailer for it, back in the before times when we actually went to movies and stuff like that. Actually, when we saw the trailer for it, when we went to go watch Sonic the Hedgehog, which, by the way, that movie should not have been as good as it was, but that was a good movie.
Yeah.
That was actually the last movie I saw in the theater. Holy shit.
Did y'all see the teaser they put out for Sonic 2?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down for it. Never mind. I'm already down for it. All I need to know is Sonic 2 because I was like, God, this movie, like they actually did this. Never mind. Well, that's a whole episode anyway. So, no, absolutely, yeah. Free Guy was, yeah. I was actually thinking about that one earlier today. So, all right, I'm just gonna throw out a couple things that we didn't actually hit on. Spider-Man 3, absolutely can't wait. We got a trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was already interested in it, but seeing the trailer, it's like, oh hey, look, we're gonna do another buddy cop thing. I'm like, fuck yes, because that is the perfect pair to do a buddy cop. And the fact that they start off in that trailer like in counseling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
tells me everything I need to know about this show. And if it's half as good as WandaVision is, I'm gonna be so sad. So those were the only two other things I had left on my list. Was there anything else anyone wanted to throw out there? Ray?
So the other ones in Marvel that we didn't talk about were Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's an absolute must. Eternals is the other one.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing.
Hold on. One other thing that I forgot to put on there. The what ifs. The what ifs.
Especially the zombie trailer.
Animated zombie. Oh my god! I was just like, oh my god! I can't wait for that. That's gonna be so much fun. So anyway, go on.
And then so this is in our family. We watched this with the kids as they were younger, and I really like this movie. It's got some good cast as well. Sing 2 is coming out later this year.
Oh my god!
I'm in. I thought it might be up Laney's alley, and
I've actually never seen it.
What is Sing?
You haven't seen Sing?
I know. We may watch it for the next free day that my kids get, like the free afternoon that they get. But
Is this like a musical or something?
it's a movie.
It's an animated musical with like a bunch of animated animals singing
Matthew
pop
McConaughey
music.
is one of the guys, and anyway, it's a fun movie. Seth
MacFarlane? Rogen?
MacFarlane, he's one of the characters. There's a lot of. It's just a fun movie, so I thought I'd save that for last, and just because,
No, good deal. Anything else? All right. Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever it is you can find us for the show. Let's go to our picks and pans real quick. I did remember. I was just kind of moving things around. He was freaking out. I'm gonna throw out 2 quick picks. The first one I'm sure is probably on most people's list. WandaVision. It's funny. I've talked to some people that were just like, I don't know about this show. It's so weird. And then about episode 3, they're just like, no, I'm in. Because it has really, it's so hard to try to explain. If you're trying to explain everything that's happened up to this point, it's really hard because there's so much stuff that's happened and they've pulled so much good stuff in from the Marvel Universe. I am really, really enjoying WandaVision. The other pick I have, making sure there aren't any little boys around here. So because we can't have a birthday party for the boys and we can't get together, we can't do anything. Basically we talked to all the friends and family and we're like, hey, does everyone want to go in and buy like 2 big gifts for the boys? Because there were 2 big things that they had asked for Christmas. Alex had asked for a gaming PC. And I mean, I built it. I have not built a gaming PC in decades. It's definitely bare bones. But anyway, that's what he's getting. But my other pick is Nicholas wanted a Oculus Quest 2. So we got him an Oculus Quest 2. And I was like, I'm making sure I've been taking them out of the boxes occasionally and making sure that they're up to date. Because the last thing you want to do when you get a brand new high-end toy is go, yay, let's install updates for 4 hours. So I went ahead and like downloaded some games on Alex's thing, but I downloaded Beat Saber on this Oculus 2. And oh my God, it is so much fun. Like if you've watched some of the trailers and you're just like, that seems like that would be pretty cool. It is. I cannot tell you how much fun this game is. It is so much fun. And I took it into work to show my partner. And I was like, well, that's not bad. I did all right on that. That was on normal. So I tried it on hard. And then I tried it on like, I think really hard. And at this point, like you've seen all the videos where like, you know, the boxes are flying at you this way. Yeah, now they start flying at you from different ways. So now you have to turn and switch back and everything else. And I'm just like, this was one of the reasons why we wanted to get it, because we're like, I was looking it up. I was like, well, this looks like this could be a workout. And talking to the people who have it, they're like, oh no, if you get up to the harder levels, it is a workout. You will be sweating by the time you're done playing it. And I'm just like, done, in. So yeah, I had so much fun with it that part of me is just like, I'm gonna end up buying one of these for myself. Because it's just too much fun. But anyway, so yeah, if you get a chance to goof off with one, definitely give it a go. It was a lot of fun. So, Ray, what's your pick or pan for the month?
So the pan, I kind of alluded to the fact. I purchased the Foo Fighters album when it came out. Medicine at Midnight. I have yet to listen to that album because the digital download that I bought has yet to be sent to me from Live Nation. I am so fucking pissed at Live Nation. I'll never buy anything from them ever again because all they have to do is send me a link or something and I can download this fucking album. So despite me getting in touch with them through Twitter, as well as through their website that they have a ticket system, as well as through email, twice, they still haven't sent this fucking thing to me, and I'm livid with them. Like I'm, the last thing I said to them was, "Tell me how to cancel this because I'm done." Like, how does it take over a week to send me a link to download a fucking album? Anyway,
That's ridiculous.
that's my pan. The picks, we've got the living room. We totally changed out the way that we've done our living room in our house. It's actually working out really well. I now have a drafting table, which I picked up today so that I can
cool.
do some more art. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. We'll talk about that more on Creatively Geeky, I'm sure. And then,
yeah, I got a phone call saying, hey, we have this crazy idea. What if we swap our dining room and living room? And I'm just like, go for it, dude. So, but I'm like, what do I know? Call back later and talk to Christy and make sure I'm not talking out my butt. And she was like, no. What's funny is of course, by the time I call back, they're like, yeah, we've already moved everything.
Yeah, it only took us a little while.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know what? As we're sitting here with everything kind of moved around, it definitely feels more. It feels better. So the other pick, and I don't want to get into too much of it, because I'm sure we'll be talking about it during Marginally Geeky. Matthew McConaughey did a book, and it's called Green Lights, and it's him telling you stories. And man, can that guy tell stories. Like, he talks about his childhood. He talks about, growing up in Texas. And then he also talks about how he got into the industry. Just all these stories. And it is so worth the listen because that man has had one hell of a life. And it's interesting. What I also like is that it's a memoir, but it's also just kind of like his way of thinking and how he's got to his processing of his life, and you can take what you want from it, and it's enjoyable. So
Can I ask you a question?
yeah,
Does he mention Hawaii in that?
I don't remember Hawaii, but he
Oh,
does
okay.
mention Australia, and there's quite the story there. So
He there's a bunch of stories about him in Hawaii that are people talk about, like he owns some property down there, and do you know who Greg Popovich is?
One of the cousins first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have these poker games down in Hawaii, and only very few people are invited. It's super famous people that show up to this thing, and they're all like major stoners. So they have really interesting stories about what goes on in Hawaii. So anyway,
Hell, that sounds like a book by itself.
yeah.
I still have over 2 hours left to listen, so I'll let you know. But
Oh,
it's It's a lot of fun.
Good deal.
Cool.
Cy, did you have a pick or pan for us?
I forgot we did this on this show. I would just say my pick and pan is probably the same thing, which is snow, because apparently that's going to be great and horrible at the same time.
Yep.
You know, I have a question, and it didn't occur to me until the end of the show. Where's Jay? Like, when's the last time y'all heard from Jay?
He has said he's going to be on the show multiple times and then just never shows up. I don't know, man.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
my pan is not having Jay here.
Oh,
Aw.
how sweet.
Joseph, you got a pick or pan for us?
My pick and pan are both related to the same thing. So I'm always late to the party when it comes to music because I listen to basically the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again. Well, this week, a suggestion came up to me on YouTube for a new music video put out by System of a Down for a song called Genocidal Human. System of a Down is my all-time favorite band. I had not seen this. I had not heard anything about it, so I thought this was amazing. And I'm texting my friends, and the video had just come out, but like they saying the song came out in November, and I had no idea, and so I felt I was super behind. And I was like, that means there's going to be a new album and a new tour. No, it was
Just a one-off.
just a one-off.
Just a one-off, huh?
So sad. But yeah, that picked because it is a fantastic song. If you like System of a Down, gives you all the warm fuzzies of old System of a Down. Pan because there's nothing else.
Yeah. No one can read that.
Yeah.
You're on blurry.
Turn off your blurring feature.
Yeah.
Back in 2 minutes.
Okay. The exact thing he was trying to avoid. Lainey, do you have a pick or pan for us?
I do. I have a pick, and then I have a pick and a half a pan. Is that a thing?
Sure, why not?
Just go with me. Okay. All right, follow me on this journey. So my pick is obvious. Everybody knows I love pop culture. I'm a pop culture geek. It's my jam. So the New York Times had come out. I guess they have a series, and they had come out with a particular episode of the series called "Framing Britney Spears." And I was like 16, 17 when she was having her public meltdown and got put into her conservatorship. Like, I remember all of that really, really vividly. I remember reading Us Weeklies about it. I remember seeing it on the internet. I remember talking to all my friends about it in homeroom. Like, I distinctly remember that entire thing happening and basically watching a human crumble in front of my eyes, but not really having the capacity at 16 years old to understand exactly what was going on. My God, when I was 25, boy, did I understand. I was like, yeah, I get it. I shaved my head too. Totally. But the actual special that they did was really, really good and gave a lot of insight, but it made me go back and re-listen to a podcast, and that's my pick. There's a really great podcast called Even the Rich. If you like pop culture, scandal, any kind of thing like that, it's really fascinating to listen to. They do like deep dive series of this sounds really bougie when I explain it, but it's usually really wealthy people and different scandals that they've gone through. They did a deep dive on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and related it back to Diana and her struggles, which was really, really interesting. They did an entire series on Beyonce and Jay-Z, which was really interesting. They did a series on the Murdochs. They've done the Kennedys. They just did one on Paris Hilton, which was actually really interesting. And they had done a little while back one on Britney Spears. And if you watched the Framing Britney Spears thing and enjoyed it, go and listen to the episodes on Britney from Even the Rich, because they do such a better job of deep diving into the story. As I got older, I definitely felt like I understood a little bit more of what happened, but the way that they explain it and the way that they go through how quickly one thing happened right after the other, and a lot of the shady things that have happened with her conservatorship, it really makes you look at it in a different way and kind of helps you understand like this is a really big problem, and we ruined this woman. So really fascinating, really, really interesting. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I love pop culture. I remember all of that happening, so it was a big draw for me. My other pick / pan is Bridgerton. So no one is shocked that I watched Bridgerton. No one is shocked. I have enjoyed it. When I first started watching it, I really, really liked it. I love anything Jane Austen-y. I really do. I love Jane Austen. Emma is one of my favorite books of all time. And I was excited to watch.
Isn't Jane Austen the one that wrote that book about the midget chicks?
Stop it. A little one. I hate them so much. Also, it's Louisa May Alcott. I can't stop myself. It's a disease. Anyway, but yeah, I was really excited because everybody had really hyped it up, and I've enjoyed it.
All you hear is sex coming from
It is truly a bodice ripping novel put on the screen.
Oh crap! My wife and daughter were watching that while we were doing the podcast.
You may need to have a conversation.
Like, I'll be sitting here in the living room, and you just hear this. Like it's like she's watching porn.
Yeah.
No, that's what my partner at work said. He's like, yeah, so my wife and my daughter, she's adult daughter, my adult daughter are watching this. He goes, yeah, the only reason it's not porn is because it's set in old England. He's like,
well, there's no money shot. There's no money shot. You don't actually see anything.
Okay, so it is 90s era. It's 90s era like television porn. So you're right. It's like hide the erect penis, but yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed at what they have gotten away with showing. So, and the fact that I'm not going to get on my soapbox about like, never mind. We'll have this conversation off of the podcast. But like the storyline, I have genuinely enjoyed. Like, it's very Jane Austen-y. I've actually really, really liked it. But I was actually, funnily enough, talking to Chris from the show last night, and she kind of said the thing that I needed to say and didn't know I needed to say. The character of Daphne Bridgerton is annoying and boring. She's boring. She's really, really boring. And for a show that is breaking a lot of barriers in so many other ways, truly, it was really disheartening to have a heroine who was very much like a Bella Swan from Twilight or a Anastasia what's-her-face from 50 Shades
that's bad.
It makes me sad because I don't identify with that girl. I don't know who that girl is. I don't have friends that are that girl. So it's
I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he is, because you're gonna hate it. Why am I gonna make you watch it? So, but overall, I enjoy the fact that it is a very inclusive show. They've got a lot of people of color on that show, which is really great. And their integration into it is really seamless. It's not really like a specific plot point on the show. It's just their world reflects the world that we live in now, which is cool. They show a lot of stuff that wouldn't have been shown on network TV, not because it's raunchy, but because it has to do with women, basically. It's just, I wish that we would have had a more dynamic main character. You know what I mean? That would have been way cooler. So that's my pick and my pan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I am a monster. And
yeah, Christy watched it, and I'm like you, Joseph. I'm just like, really? Like,
oh, I know she did because she talked to me about it. So,
Sean, you got a pick or pan for us?
My pick and pan is a couple of weeks ago. I got pulled into the office and told I was being transferred to a new job.
Oof.
Which typically
right?
is,
whoa.
Like for the place that I work at, usually it's like a 2-month process, and no, it was a week and a half.
Damn.
So it went really, really quick.
That's what you
It's got a lot of silver linings. It's not as physically active. I'm going to be a trainer, which I can get up and talk in front of people for anything, but I haven't looked at this shit for like 15 years. So I'm basically like grabbing every document I can, every training manual I can, and teaching myself this stuff so I don't look like a complete idiot when I actually do start training people. But like with COVID going on, the whole training department's working from home. They like give them laptops and you call in for like a 9:45 meeting because any earlier and it interferes with the kids kind of thing. And I'm not used to that. I'm like I told them, I'm coming into work because I got too many DVDs and shit like that at home. I'm not gonna get it. I'll sequester myself. No one else is in the office. I have the whole floor to myself. Like I'll get a COVID test every week. I don't care. But it when it first happened, because I didn't get any say in it, it kind of ticked me off a little bit. But no, now it's settled in and I've started doing it. It's not too bad. I didn't get near enough turnover. I don't have any backup. My department only has one trainer. So if I'm sick or if I have questions and all that, well, here's the manuals kind of thing. So, yeah, that was good and bad.
Yeah, they read my letter, so.
I work with all your training buddies. There are only a couple guys over from me, so.
I've warned them though that you're on their way.
Ray's like, how do you spell ultimatum?
Yeah. Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. Like I was saying earlier, you can find us at epicallygeeky.com. You can also find us on YouTube, well, actually, you can find us on Instagram, but we don't post a lot of stuff because it's a thing. But you can find us at Epically Geeky everywhere, and then of course you can follow the other shows: Marginally Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, and Creatively Geeky. So, and
Is there another show?
there's something procrastinate something, yeah. Maybe we'll get around to that.
Nice.
Don't shake your head, Si. Where can we find you online, Ray?
You can find me the Reluctant Yeti on Instagram. Most of the shows that you talked about as well. So.
Exactly. Cyrus, where can we find you online?
Well, if you'd like to find more of my wonderful videos, you can tune into videogamevirus.com on YouTube, where you can find. Anyway, yeah, it's me talking about a bunch of video game crap, and mainly old games. So if you're like into like old games and old men, then I'm then you found the double whammy.
You're selling this really well.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. There you go. I mean,
Your
we've got
elevator pitch
everything.
is
Yes, if you're looking for that, right here.
right there. Joseph, where can we find you online?
I am the only Joseph Morales in existence. That's all you need to know.
They're like Highlanders. He had to kill the rest of them.
Yeah.
I remember when that was happening. It was in the news.
Yeah. It's like that movie.
Another Joseph is gone.
The One. You know, I get stronger every time I kill one.
Just pictures of him holding a bloody sword in one hand and thumbs up in the other.
Yeah.
Lainey, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter, although I rarely post, but you can go back through my old tweets and see how funny I used to be. At It's a Lainey Bird. If I don't know you, it might take me a hot second to add you, but send me a little message and maybe I'll be nice and I'll add you on there.
Good deal. Sean, where can we find you online?
I try not to go online. I got too many training manuals to look over. Instagram, your favorite broken toy. Spelled properly, Canadian way, favorite.
Lots of
Facebook, most of the geekies. Procrastinators.
Most of the geekies. That should be a website. Mostofthegeekies.com.
Well, there's that sustainably one, which nah.
It's not that sustainable, right?
He's like, I burn everything I can.
The one that has the most work done to it, they don't want me on that one.
And as always, you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.